So for today's Foundation Friday, I'm going to be reviewing the NYX Cosmetics Born to Glow Naturally Radiant Foundation. There's 30ml in this bottle, which is just the standard size for a foundation. Now the shade I'm in is the shade Natural, and I'm also going to be trying out the NYX Cosmetics Born to Glow Radiant Concealer, and I've picked this up in the shade Vanilla. So both of these are first impressions, as I've never actually tried any of these products before. So I'm just going to give you some claims that this foundation makes, and these claims are taken from the NYX Cosmetics website. So the NYX Born to Glow Naturally Radiant Foundation, which is £10, claims to be a buildable medium coverage, a naturally radiant finish that lasts and blends like a dream and works with your skin to help create a smooth, even toned look. So it's a buildable coverage and it can be built to a medium coverage, which is okay for daytime. So it's not claiming to be full coverage. It's radiant and it's a finish that lasts, and it's meant to blend like a dream. So let's see. So I'm just going to be squeezing a little bit of this onto my little plastic palette. Now unfortunately it doesn't have a pump. Now straight away, it's not a very runny foundation. It is running a little bit when I'm holding it up. So it seems to be quite a thick formula. So I'm just going to start by going in and putting this on the skin with a Real Techniques pointed foundation brush. And then I'm going to be going in with my Morphe Beauty sponge and just blending this out. So it already seems to be quite a good coverage straight away, which is impressive because it's not a full coverage foundation. But straight away, it's definitely got a good amount of coverage. So I'm quite impressed with just the first layer of foundation. Now this beauty sponge is damp as well. I think I forgot to say that before, that I do actually, when I use any beauty sponge, I always make sure that the sponge is damp. I know that some people use them when they're dry, but I just personally prefer them when they are actually damp. So straight away, just from blending out all of the foundation, I really do like this foundation, and the shade Natural seems to be quite a good yellow tone foundation, and it seems to be a good match for my skin tone. So that's just a little tip for anyone who maybe have a similar skin tone to me, that the shade Natural works quite well. I'd say it's very yellow based, as you can probably see on camera. So I'm just going to be going in now with the NYX Born to Glow Radiant Concealer, and straight away I'm noticing that this applicator is very similar to the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser Concealer. So even though this one has obviously been used, it's a very similar applicator, which I actually love this product. So let's see how this one compares. So if you squeeze, hope you can see this, if you squeeze then the product comes out. Oh, that's a lot. So I'm just going to be applying this. Yeah, so you only need to give it a very light squeeze. So I'm just going to be applying this to the under eye. Apply a little bit down the bridge of the nose, centre of the forehead, Cupid's bow, smile lines, and a little bit on the chin as well. Now it does actually look very light, this colour, but again it's a very yellow tone, which I like. So I'm just going to blend this in now, and then I'm going to do the rest of the makeup off camera. I'll check back in, show you what the makeup looks like, and then I'm going to be doing a wear test on this foundation as well. So I'm going to be checking back in about 6 hours or so. I'm going to go about my day, I'm going to get my hair done today, and then I'll check back in, like I said, in about 5 or 6 hours, maybe 7 if I can really be bothered keeping it on the face that long, because it is now 4 o'clock in the afternoon anyway. So yeah, to blend out the face, I'm going to be going back in with the same Morphe Beauty sponge, and I'm blending away the under eye last, because I like that to be the most full coverage, and the best way to achieve a full coverage is to sort of let your concealer dry down into the skin a little bit. And because this is a naturally radiant concealer, I'm not worried that it's going to dry really quick, whereas a matte concealer tends to dry really quick and is hard to blend once it's already dried into the skin. But because this concealer is a radiant concealer, I'm not really so worried about that. Okay, so with this concealer, as you can probably see, a little goes a long way. So I did give a big squeeze, but I definitely could have used less product and still been quite well covered. So I'm actually midway through doing the rest of the makeup, and I just realised something, that I actually forgot to prime. So I was planning to use the NYX Cosmetics Angel Veil with this foundation. Like, sometimes using a primer from the same brand that you're using the foundation from just works so well together. Sometimes brands formulate their own products to work well together best, but I actually totally forgot to use a primer. So when I check back in later after I've done my whole day, then obviously this will go even better for this foundation because it's got no primer. So let's see how it holds up without a primer. I mean, this is accidental, but I suppose this really will be a real wear test because it's had no primer on, which primer helps to make foundation last all day and stick to the skin. So let's hope, fingers crossed. But yeah, I just thought I'd update you anyway. So I'm just checking back in like I said I would. So this is what the makeup looks like now that all of the skin products have been applied, and other skin products did apply very easily on top of this foundation, and when I was touching the skin it didn't feel very tacky. However, when I say very tacky, I mean like sort of sticky, so I didn't actually need to go over with a loose face powder. All I've done is my normal foundation routine, which does involve a lot of powder because I've used powder bronzer, powder blush, and I've baked underneath the contour. But around the forehead, I haven't actually used any other loose powder, or on the nose or anything. So yeah, this is what the makeup looks like, this is how the skin's looking, and I will check back in about 6 hours or so and see if it's still on the skin despite me using no primer. So guys, I'm just checking back in like I said I would. Now, like I said before, I've just been to get my hair done today, so if you notice it's looking a little bit lighter, then that's why. This foundation now has been on the skin for 6.5 hours, so I've left it on as long as I can. Now also, today I've actually obviously forgot to prime this foundation, and then I went to get my hair highlighted, and we had to wash the individual highlights out, so a lot of water has actually dripped down onto the forehead and a little bit onto the nose. And when I looked up, I was expecting the foundation to be completely off, but it hasn't. It's actually lasted very well. There's not any watermarks or anything like that. There's no like part on the face where the water's completely stripped the foundation off, so I'm very impressed with that. So overall, I really do love this foundation. I think it gives the skin a nice healthy radiance, and although it has came off on the nose a little bit here, there's a little bit of redness here and a little bit on the chin also, as you can see. They are mostly problem areas for me, so considering that I didn't actually use primer, it's actually held up really, really well. So I can't imagine what this foundation would be like with primer. It would obviously be a lot better. So the only complaints that I have is that it's worn off on the nose and the chin, but overall I am so impressed with the coverage. Even though it doesn't claim to be full coverage, it only claims to be medium. As you're seeing from the tutorial, it just went on very, very high coverage from the first layer. So I am very impressed with this foundation. So I definitely would recommend this foundation for all the above reasons that I've just explained. It has done a really good job, and I'd feel confident keeping this on for even more hours. I feel like it's only literally starting to wear off here and here on the nose and the chin. Everywhere else literally looks very flawless. And I love how this shade Natural is a very yellow undertone, which I quite like, and is quite flattering on my skin. I'd say this is quite a good everyday foundation. Now also, you see me try the matching concealer, and this was in the shade Vanilla. So that was very yellowy as well, as you're seeing. So I definitely recommend this concealer as well, because I don't think it's full coverage, but it is full coverage enough for me to actually wear this in daytime or on a night out. It's really done a very good job at concealing any blue undertones, any blue bags under the eyes, and that is without any colour correcting at all. So yeah, I definitely love this foundation and concealer, and together they do go really nice. But yeah, even if you just wanted to try the foundation, I definitely recommend that, or just the concealer, I would definitely recommend those two. They are fantastic, and they do give a really, really good coverage. So on that note, that is my review of the NYX Born to Glow Naturally Radiant Foundation and Naturally Radiant Concealer done. So if you have any suggestions for next week's Foundation Friday video, any foundation you would like me to review, then please just leave me a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to respond and try and make it happen. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next tutorial. PS, don't forget to show your support by subscribing to my YouTube channel, giving this video a thumbs up. If this type of content, i.e. reviews of foundation, is something that you like and would like to see more of on this channel, then let me know by giving me a thumbs up, and also leaving me a comment and subscribing. And yes, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.